Sir Ed Davey, leader of the Liberal Democrats, is often seen as the affable face of British centrism, more paddleboards than punch-ups. But beneath the campaign stunts is a politician with decades of experience and a deep commitment to internationalism. Davey's career has been shaped by a belief in cooperation and open societies, forged through years of public service. He's championed environmental causes, civil liberties, and the idea that collaboration, not division, leads to prosperity. Today, in 2025, Davey is stepping up as a defender of an open world, alarmed by the rise of populist nationalism. He sees figures like Farage, Trump, and Musk as threats to the systems of international cooperation that have made the world more connected. For Davey, this isn't just politics. It's a battle for the soul of the 21st century, and for the freedom of movement we've come to expect. He stands for a tradition of British liberalism that looks outward, championing free trade, human rights, and the rule of law. Davey argues that the "us first" mentality of his opponents risks unraveling decades of progress. For ordinary people, students, families, travelers, the consequences are real and disruptive. Davey enters the ring not as a showman, but as a determined advocate for a world that remains open, connected, and free. To understand Davey's fight, we need to know his opponents. Nigel Farage, architect of Brexit, turned anti-EU sentiment into a movement, promising to take back control and celebrating a more insular Britain. Donald Trump, the reality TV president, took that playbook global, questioning alliances, starting trade wars, and building both literal and metaphorical walls. Trump's America First doctrine rejected decades of international cooperation, making the world less predictable for everyone. Then there's Elon Musk, not a politician but a tech titan whose control over platforms like X, formerly Twitter, gives him outsized influence. Musk's chaotic stewardship of X has amplified divisive voices and misinformation, shaping public discourse without democratic checks. Together, Farage, Trump, and Musk form a triangle of disruption attacking unions, dismantling alliances, and rewriting the rules of communication. They share a disdain for the establishment and prefer dramatic gestures over patient negotiation. Their appeal is to grievance and radical change, but the result, Davey argues, is a smaller, more fractured world. For the ordinary traveler, their actions make the world harder to navigate. Davey warns, their vision risks closing doors that took generations to open. For years, globalization made the world feel bigger. Budget airlines, open borders, and exchange programs turned travel into a rite of passage. We took for granted the ease of booking a flight or crossing a border with just a passport. This openness was built on trust and international agreements. But the populist wave, led by Farage and Trump, is reversing this trend. Their message: be suspicious of outsiders, distrust international institutions, retreat behind borders. The result? Stricter visas, longer queues, and a general atmosphere of suspicion. The world starts to shrink. Students face more hurdles studying abroad. Small businesses struggle with new trade barriers. Every new piece of red tape severs connections and stifles opportunity. Nationalism often brings a rejection of foreign cultures, closing minds as well as borders. The joy of travel is in experiencing difference. When leaders encourage fear, they rob us of that. Invisible walls go up in our minds, making us less curious and less open. The shrinking world isn't just about travel, it's about the loss of empathy and understanding. Davey sees this as a fundamental threat to the human experience. Trump's wall on the US-Mexico border became a symbol America closing itself off. For travelers, the shift was immediate. Visiting the US felt more intimidating, with stories of intense questioning and arbitrary rejections. The land of the free felt less welcoming, and uncertainty became a deterrent. The travel ban targeting Muslim-majority countries sent a chilling message: you might not be welcome here. Davey calls this a betrayal of openness, arguing such policies are cruel and counterproductive. They damage reputations, hurt tourism, and cut off new ideas and friendships. Davey's solution: international agreements for clear, fair travel rules, treating tourists as guests, not suspects. Fortress mentality changes how a country is seen, affecting everything from tourism to business. Davey fights for a diplomacy of welcome, where openness and trust are the default. For him, building bridges, not walls, is the only way forward. For decades, Britons enjoyed the freedom to roam Europe. no borders, no paperwork, just a shared European identity. Brexit, championed by Farage, ended that era. Now, British travelers face new rules, limited stays, more paperwork, and lost freedoms. The dream of seamless European living has been replaced by counting days and worrying about visas. Young musicians, artists, and professionals now face costly barriers to working across Europe. Many have given up, their ambitions crushed by bureaucracy. Davey and the Liberal Democrats remain fiercely pro-European, calling Brexit a historic mistake. He wants to rebuild bridges, negotiating youth mobility schemes and easing visa restrictions for talent. The goal: restore opportunities for young Britons to live, work, and study in Europe. For Davey, it's not about refighting old battles, but salvaging what's been lost. He wants future generations to enjoy the same opportunities to connect with Europe. The fight is for a future where borders don't limit dreams. While Trump and Farage build physical borders, Musk is creating digital frontiers. His control over X gives him immense power over global information. Travel today relies on open, reliable information. Social media helps us plan, stay safe, and connect. Under Musk, X has become a breeding ground for misinformation, making it harder for travelers to know what's true. Davey sees this as a new challenge: unaccountable tech giants shaping our world without responsibility. He calls for new rules. Platforms must be accountable for the content they amplify. This isn't censorship, but a duty of care to prevent harm. Davey wants international regulation, media literacy, and transparency from tech companies. The fight for open borders now includes the digital world. For modern travelers, a trustworthy internet is as vital as a valid passport. Ed Davey isn't just criticizing. He's offering a blueprint for reconnection. His plan: repair Brexit's damage, rebuild ties with Europe, and make life easier for people and businesses. He wants Britain back in the EU's single market and Erasmus+, restoring lost freedoms for travelers and students. Beyond Europe, Davey calls for renewed commitment to international institutions, UN, WTO, NATO, solving global problems together. For travelers, stable international rules mean safety and predictability. Davey also addresses digital borders, calling for a global coalition to set standards for tech companies. He envisions international agreements on digital rights, free expression, privacy, and accountability. Tech giants must tackle misinformation and operate transparently. For anyone who relies on the internet to connect with the world, this is essential. Davey's vision: a world reconnected, both physically and digitally. Davey's battle is for open skies, the freedom to travel, and open minds, the freedom to grow. Barriers and bureaucracy don't just inconvenience travelers, they limit our collective ambition. The true value of travel is in transformation, challenging prejudices, broadening perspectives, and building empathy. Nationalist rhetoric poisons this process, closing minds and encouraging fear. Davey defends the link between travel and understanding, fighting for visa-free schemes and exchange programs. A citizen who travels becomes a global citizen, ready to tackle challenges that cross borders. This fight is about more than politics. It's about the world we want to live in. Davey chooses open horizons over isolated fortresses. He stands for a world where connection, not division, is our greatest strength. You might not care for politics, but Davey's fight affects your freedom to explore. Every longer queue, pricier flight, or hostile border is a result of this ideological struggle. The freedom to travel is a political achievement, and it can be undone. This isn't abstract, it's about your holidays, your children's opportunities, your ability to connect with the world. Populist promises of control often mean less freedom for you. Supporting an open world isn't about party loyalty, it's about defending a principle. Davey's proposals, rebuilding ties, strengthening laws, regulating tech, are steps to protect that freedom. The fight for open skies and minds is a fight for curiosity, connection, and understanding. Every traveler has a stake in keeping the world open.